Hey guys, good afternoon. My name is Brett Grossman. I'm a top leader here with Freedom Financial Solutions. Today's training topic is one that I'm really excited about talking to you about here, which is calling on business owners and how to overcome some of the most common objections that we get when sitting with business owners as well as clients. And I'm going to cover all the aspects. At this point, if you don't have something to write with, you want to pause the video and grab something to write with. I'm going to go over some of the scripts, the language, the posture, things that you want to use that are going to help you explode your business and exponentially make more money right out of the gate. And so let's go ahead and let's get started. Number one is the mindset behind calling on small business owners in general. And that mindset has to be one that is similar to chopping down a tree with a hammer. What that means is it is going to take a relentless work ethic. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to go over the formula and the numbers behind what it's going to take in order to take what I give you here today, put it into action, and then see what the outcome is going to look like. Business owners have three different areas. They want to make money, they want to save money, they want to save time or relieve pain, right? That's four. Our job is to get to the attention long enough, right? Very short attention span is to get their attention long enough that we engage them during the first 30 to 45 seconds to want to set an appointment with us. So how do we do that? We're going to differentiate ourselves from everybody else who's walking in their door on a daily basis. And that could be somebody trying to sell them advertising. Somebody's looking to sell them a new credit card processing. Maybe it's a restaurant or a pizza shop and somebody's selling them new ingredients, new food products. Whatever that might be, a lot of times sales representatives have been trained with the same type of a little bit more old school way of going in and talking to business owners. And so we're going to kind of mix it up here a little bit. We're going to give you some real fresh language that is going to give you the opportunity to just get their attention very quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. Number one is how. How are we going to do this? And it's very simple. When you walk in the door, you want to have a certain type of posture, not just like physical posture, but you want to have like an aura about you, an aura that speaks confidence, not somebody who's just walking in the door like, hi, can I talk to the business owner? No, the language has to be, if you walk into a business, you're a consultant for whatever industry you're there to talk to them about. Again, that could be you're walking into a bakery. You could be walking into a fish market. You could be walking into a restaurant. You could be walking into food and beverage. It really, right? A pizza shop, an electrician's office, right? Anywhere that you're walking into, that is where you are the consultant. And so the language needs to be, when you walk in the door, you're either going to get to the gatekeeper, who is typically an administrative assistant, or it's somebody who's working in sales or working in marketing or working in some aspect of the business, and they're going to ask you this question. Hi, how can I help you? And your response to that is, I'm here to see the owner of the business. Their response is going to be, do you have an appointment? My response has always been, yes, I believe they might be expecting me. And that's it. And so if you're walking into a little bit of a smaller business and you believe, and you can sometimes tell, like a Domino's Pizza franchise, Minuteman franchise, Subway franchise, if you're walking into some smaller businesses, a lot of times you'll know, bam, right off the bat that you're talking to the owner. And so you may just want to just adjust that and just say, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And stick your hand out, give a smile, shake their hand. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And then, it's going to go something along the lines of this. And you always want to use your own words. We do have scripts that are written out that is going to give you a lot of what I'm going to cover here today. And again, recommendation, memorize it, make it your own. Very similar to how we do some of our life insurance sales. So it will go something like this. It would say something like, hello, Mr. Customer, great to meet you. My name is Brett Grossman, and I am a consultant in the food and beverage industry. And I'm here today because I know that I could show you, based on the fact that I've worked with other owners in your industry, how to eliminate risk, understand new tax laws, reduce liability, and incorporate it into your business beginning this year. If they say, no, I'm not interested, or if they say, I have a tax accountant, I have an attorney, I already have someone who, a tax advisor, somebody helps me with this, you're not going to acknowledge their first answer if it's in a negative connotation. By negative connotation, what I mean is the objections that I just gave you. All you're going to do is you're just going to keep moving forward. It's as if you told them why you're there, and now they just went ahead and said, no, I've got that all covered, I've got this, I've got that. And it's kind of like you're getting through the crowd, right? And you're like just move over, get out of the way, right? Because I need to get your attention. No. Listen to me, right? This is kind of like the connection that you want to make with the owner, and you have a small window of time. Give me 19 minutes is what I'm going to ask you. Give me 19 minutes to show you 2 to 3 strategies. Again, you're going to repeat how I can eliminate some risk both in your business and in your home, reduce liability, and incorporate them into your business right away this year. If at the end I've provided you with 0 value to your business, I've wasted your time, let me know, and I will gladly hand you a $25 Amazon gift card for your time. Stick out your hand, smile, and say to them, what's better for you and I to get together? Is it tomorrow in the afternoon, or is it tomorrow about this time here in the morning? And literally, don't take your hand out. And you have to have boldness. You have to be able to deliver the information, memorize the information, say it over and over again, and I'm going to teach you how to get good at saying it over and over again, and then you want to go ahead and you want to reach out your hand and you want to ask for that appointment. Now, if they still give a reason or an excuse why they cannot meet, why they're maybe not interested, whatever it might be, one more time. But this time, just leave the Amazon gift card out. And here's what you want to say one more time. Again, I'd just like to ask you one more time. Give me 19 minutes. Let me sit down with you and show you how I can do for you like I've done for other owners in your industry. Eliminate their tax liability, reduce risk, just put them in a better position. And if at the end I've wasted all your time, I'll gladly get up and I'll be out the door. No harm, no foul. Put out your hand. Can we make something happen here tomorrow? Granted, not everyone is going to take you up on your offer. What I will share with you is if you do that very script right there, 20 times a day, 3 days in a week, you are going to generate yourself some appointments. Here's what I don't want you to do. If they accept your offer and they decide to go, you know what, I'll give you 15 minutes, you come back this time tomorrow. Don't push them or bully them into saying, yeah, but I asked you for 19 minutes. Agree, take the 15 minutes and let them know you'll be back tomorrow. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to stand around for small talk. You don't want to stay and get engaged, because what's going to happen is that's going to generate questions. You want to generate the curiosity, okay? And you also want to generate the fact that you're busy and that you just stopped in after you just wrapped up an appointment. Now you've got another appointment on the books, but you have to get going because you're on to the next one. but you wanted to drop in and say hello. And that's the way that you're going to go ahead and you're going to deliver that one. Now make sure you have a calendar with you as well. I'm a little bit more old school. I like to use the old school calendars that you kind of write in. If you have a Google Calendar on your phone, whatever you have. Here's the last thing that you want to do, is you want to go ahead and ask the business owner, before you walk out the door, ask them, and this is also going to generate professionalism on your part. How are you at keeping your appointments? Are you typically on time, and will you be here? Or would you like my assistant to give you a friendly reminder call or text message? What works better for you? And if they say, have your assistant give me a call, I run a real busy life here. Sometimes I'm in and out of the business. I want to be here, but I can't guarantee it. Then if you don't have an assistant, find someone. Find your wife, your girlfriend, right? Find somebody, your neighbor, your cousin. Get someone, if you only have 2 appointments, get them to call ahead of time and give them a professional way of confirming that appointment for you. Okay, that's what you want to do at that point. So let's talk about the formula for success. 3 days a week, and you want to do this 20 times. What that's going to do is that's going to generate for you, towards the end of the week, moving into the following week, 15 appointments. Now out of those 15 appointments, 5 of them will cancel or reschedule. Just the way it works. Then there's going to be another 5 who you keep the appointment with, but their attention span, because a lot of times business owners aren't working in their business, right? Excuse me, they're not working on their business, they're working in their business. They're literally their own employee in the business. And sometimes the attention span's not there. I know that they agreed to give you 15 minutes, but if you just kind of feel like the phone's ringing, they're picking up the phone, or somebody walks in, you just need to posture them slightly and say, listen, you agreed to meet with me, and I've agreed to block time to meet with you. I have some really important information I think is going to be of value to you. Can we shut the door? Can we put our cell phones on vibrate? Can we just take that 15 minutes that we both agreed to so that you and I can go through the information? And just kind of posture them a little bit. So those are going to be those 5. And then you're going to have 5 who are going to be wide open. They're going to be open to allowing you to come in there and sit down and have the conversation. So how does that work? At this point, I am going to reference you back to the IUL Fact Finder that we have in the Facebook group file. And it also comes a lot of times in a welcome email. And I'm going to reference you back to the mortgage protection where the sale is made. As a matter of fact, that document right there, that where the sale is made, can be used in conjunction with the IUL Fact Finder. What that's going to do is that is going to allow you to have dialogue with the owner of the business, which in turn is going to be a Q&A session, as opposed to you just speaking at them the entire time, trying to educate them on new tax laws and how to reduce risk in their business and their home and things of that nature. So make sure that you're dialed in to those particular documents. The presentation can still be the same in terms of the core transitions that you're using. And so one of the other ways that you can do that is you can reference back to the YouTube channel or to the video space. Now, one last thing. How do I find these businesses? In my experience, I found that walking through shopping centers or small industrial parks has been a phenomenal way to get in front of business owners right on the spot. Cold calling business owners. Old school relationship building. It's the best way to do it. It's the way I've always done it. It's the way I'm going to recommend you do it. If you want to take another strategy, here's another way. You can go onto your Secretary of State website and you can narrow down a search for businesses who've been in business for less than 3 years. And you can narrow that down. A lot of times what you're going to get is your plumbers and your electricians and your contractors. And nowadays, a lot of these folks work out of their home office. What I'll share with you is you can use that door knocking script that we use in our straight mortgage protection. And now you can apply that with what I've just shared with you here. And you can go right to the door. Okay, you have to be fearless here. Make a list of roughly about 100 of those businesses, their name, their address, their phone number. It'll even give you, sometimes their sales volume. Here's the third way that you can do it. You can reach out to the home office at Freedom Financial Solutions, and you can ask them to generate a list for you. That list is going to have a cost associated with that. You'll reach out to the corporate office. They'll explain that to you, and you tell them what your search criteria is and how you want to narrow that down. Okay? All right. So that's how you call on business owners. Now let's take a look at some of the common objections. Now these objections will come whether you're in a business or you're in a home for an appointment. So this can both be applied. And what are some of those common ones? Let me think about it. Call me tomorrow. Give me 30 days. Here's what I'll share with you, some facts. Within 24 hours, people will have forgotten 75% of what you said. Which means that if you did a 19-minute presentation and at the end you've had an opportunity to even maybe run an illustration, do a 3-option close, you've been able to uncover some pain. Everything is going the way you need it to go during the presentation. You found out where the sale is made and you've gotten in there. But still they say, call me tomorrow. Understand that when you call this individual back, Mr. Customer, they've forgotten 75% of what you said. Let me think about it. Let me think about it is another one. I'm going to address that one here in a second. We're going to go over some scripts, some rebuttals, and things that you can use for that one, because that's a good one right there. Because that's a lot of times the more common one. Here's another one. Give me 30 days. Statistically speaking, after 30 days, 90% of what you said has been forgotten. So that means that another 10% is still kind of lingering around. Here's what I'll tell you about that 10%. Only 5% of that 10, they can actually remember exactly what it is that you said. So after 30 days, what that means is only 5% of the information will be retained by the individuals that you spoke to. So, what to say? Number one, again, use your own words. You want to be personal about this. You want to be firm, kind of aggressive. All right, so you want to be firm with posture. I always talk about having posture and proud shoulders. It's about having a direct conversation. It's about looking somebody in the eye and checking them out and making sure that are they really just trying to string you along? Because your time is valuable as an agent. Because your time is valuable going out there and knocking on doors, going out there and cold calling businesses. It's not to say that somebody else's time isn't as valuable, but your time is equally as valuable. You are a valuable person. Your time means a lot. And if you know that you're doing a good job and you're doing right by somebody, you have every right to get them in check and find out exactly why they want you to call them tomorrow, call them next week, or call them in 30 days. You have every right. And here's how we're going to pick this apart and figure it out. All right. Mr. Customer says, when they say, I want to think about it. Here's what you said. This either means one or two things. Number one, what you're telling me, Mr. Customer, is you're not interested. Or number two, you're interested but not sure. Which one is it? And you have to deliver it just like that. There can't be a long pause in between. They say, give me 30 days, let me think about it. And you say, it's either one or two things. You're not interested, or you're interested but you're not sure. Which one is it? And now what's happened is, you have now began to come back to them and put them on the spot, and now they have two options. They can continue to either A, lead you on, or B, figure out, oh, geez, this guy's a pro, she's a pro. Most people don't hit me back with that. Most people just say, okay, when would you like me to call you back? Would you like me to call you back tomorrow at 4 o'clock? How's next Friday, 3 o'clock? How about I call you back in October, around Halloween? That's what most people do. This is why we're going to be different than most people. So, they say, let me think about it. You have then said what you're going to say. They then say, I'm not interested. You then reply back right away. Not interested in what? What is it about the presentation? What is it about the conversation that you and I had that made you not interested? And now they have to tell you what that is. Now, if they say, I'm interested but not sure, a lot of times what this means in both rebuttals is we've missed something. We may have overlooked an objection, right? The elephant in the room just never got brought out. We missed that, or maybe we didn't build enough value somewhere. Maybe we didn't ask the right questions. Maybe we spent 15 minutes talking and only asked 2 questions as opposed to doing the IUL fact finder or figuring out where the sale is made and putting them in that position where they really started to think, man, what would happen to my business? All my accounts receivables, all my accounts payables. What would happen to all my employees? All their mortgages, all their car payments, all their kids in school. What would happen to all that? What would happen to the house that I just refied? What would happen to my wife? What would happen to my kids? Would my kids have to relocate? I have little ones. I have kids that are about to go into high school. What would my daughter feel like knowing that she had to go across town to go back and live with my in-laws? Do your in-laws have an extra bedroom? Or would you guys be sleeping on the couch for the next few months? In the event of something crazy happening, meaning, did you dig deep enough? And so here's how you handle that. They say, I'm interested, but I'm not sure. Okay? Here's what you do at that point. In my experience, that is the result of one of 3 reasons, Mr. Client, Mr. Customer. Number 1, is the product or service a fit? And this is what you're delivering to them. So number 1, was it a fit? Number 2, functionality. Number 3, finance. So it's either one of 3 reasons. So let me ask you, Mr. Customer, what was not a fit about the product or service? What didn't you like about hearing about the IUL or about the tax-free way of developing an income sideline bank account that in the event you needed to buy a new piece of equipment, you could reach into the policy tax-free and then take that loan? Because you told me that the last time that the pizza oven broke down, you went to your local TD bank and they charged you 5% interest on the loan. Or the last time you needed a small business loan, you needed $10,000 to fund your business, so you went to your merchant service company, and now not only are they hitting you with the fees on the credit card swipes, but they are also now taking a portion of your credit card transactions and using that to go back towards the loan, plus charging you interest. Here, we have none of that. What part of that was not a good fit? As an example, what part of the mortgage protection plan, having the living benefits in place, what part of getting all of your money back at the end of 20 years wasn't a good fit for you? And they go, no. I love all that. That was great. Okay, so it wasn't the product or service. Was it the functionality? At what point during our conversation did it not sit well with you about knowing that in the event of a critical illness, a chronic illness, or a terminal illness, you would have access to the face amount and be able to pay off the loan of your home, pay off any debt, pay off your kids' school? At what point being able to make sure that your business still stayed afloat so you didn't have to go into bankruptcy or file Chapter 30? What point of the functionality did it not make sense, or did you not like that? Oh, no. I love living benefits. All my life insurance that I have now, I told you, I've got State Farm, I've got Prudential, I've got all this term life, nothing has anything like that. I love the functionality. Okay? So was it the finance? Was it the cost? Is the premium too high? Yes. And I want to do it, and I want the program. I just don't know if I can do, $800 to $1,000 a month in that IUL presentation that we did when you ran that illustration. Understood. So now you can recalculate, go back into the IUL presentation, and now you can go into the quick view and you can adjust it and take it from $800 a month. Would $500 a month, does that fit your budget? And I'd like to let you know that if you want to adjust this down the road and that you'd like to go ahead and maybe start contributing a little bit more, you're going to have that option. Would you like to start with something a little bit smaller so at least you have something in place in terms of the living benefits, you have the cash value account? Would you like to move in that direction? Let me see what that looks like. Or it could be at the point where it was, so was it the finance? Yes. Okay, so I showed you 3 options. Now we're talking, you sat down, you showed somebody a 3-option close. You showed them the 3-option close. And they go, I can't afford it. You then say, okay, were you leaning more towards option 1 or option 2? I'm a little bit more in between the 2. So let's say option 1 was a face amount of $300,000. And option 2 was a face amount of $150,000. Okay? What you're going to do at that point, and you can reference back to the 3-option close video, is show them something in the middle. Maybe show them something for $200,000 or $225,000. Put it back into your calculator, flip it around, show it to them and go, does this sit well? Is this better for you? Yes, it is. Okay, great. What I'd like to do for you right now is we'll put together an application. Same thing can be said with the IUL. But this is how you chop away and figure out what was that objection really about? And don't do what most people do. Continue on. Don't go for the first, second, or third no. Don't go when they say, I already have a tax advisor, an attorney, an accountant. Everybody who has a business typically has somebody like that on retainer or on staff. Your job is not to get involved in their knee-jerk reaction. Your job is to gain an appointment so that you can show them that there is a better way, that there are alternative options by asking the right questions. And so, hope that was helpful here for everybody here today. Again, you can reference back. We have scripts that go over exactly what we did here today. And again, the key is to remember to make it your own, have posture, ask the right questions, don't feel bad about the first or second or third no, and you have to be relentless in your work ethic to go out there and find a business. Look forward to seeing everybody at our next training event.